Here's how I solved the broken connectors problem. These clips that squeeze the pins are breaking. These are still good, but most of them on the other side broke, so I went ahead and used this method to disconnect the speakers. Now, as to this one with the big piece missing, I trimmed around as much as I could, and I'll slip a piece of paper in there, see if I can make a pattern of that, and try to find something to fit in there. I don't know what I'll find, but at least I'd like to fill that in. So what I'm going to try to do is draw out an inside pattern to use this piece of paper I've got stuck in here as a pattern to see if I can put this over a piece of heavier paper and make an inside, a piece that'll just fit inside that I can tack into place and then maybe patch in with strips like I did here. This is all experimental. I've never done this before, so I'm going to see how this will come out. And so here is my pattern. I have to cut that out and see how well it fits inside that hole. It's not exact, but it's very close. Remember that I'm going to put strips of filter material like I did here around the edges, but when I cut out the actual piece that I'm going to use, it'll be slightly bigger, very slightly bigger than the pattern. And then I'll have to do some trimming to get it in. I'm hoping to be able to just tack it in, and when the tacking is set up, and then I'll put strips in to make it a little bit better. But this is the best I can do right now. I think it takes a person that's a little bit more of an artist than I am to do this perfectly. Now that piece that I got in there is from sketch pad paper. It's heavier than the pattern I cut out, but of course it's lighter than the cone material itself. But the trouble is, if I tried to go with something that is as heavy as the cone material, I don't think I'll be able to get it to conform in there, because this is all press made. When they make these cones, they press those out. So I think this is going to have to be good enough to fill in. The speaker's never going to sound the best anyways. This is a situation, and let's hope for the best. Let me see if I can get that tacked into place. It's a little like Dr. Frankenstein's creation, isn't it? Once these little patches with the Eileen's tacky glue, once the glue has done its stuff and this is held into place pretty well, then I'll put some strips of coffee filter paper like I've been doing to hold it in better. And I think this is the best I'm going to be able to do. Well, it's all patched up. Sure looks like a mess, but it's patched. So now an issue manifested itself. The fuse blew. After I got done patching all the cone on this thing, I tried to power it up and the fuse blew. Well, why would that happen? What changed? Well, the only thing that changed is I've been rotating the speaker all around working on it, but there's something wrong with the field coil in the speaker, and I'll show what's happening. If I tap it, there you go, see? Went up to 4K all the way down to... So moving it around, it's dropping the resistance. So how can that be? What is it supposed to be? So either 1.4 K ohms is normal, or with it going up, that's abnormal. So what's wrong here? So it's at 1.3. So what I can do is I can bring up the power. I can monitor the current draw. If it goes up real fast right away, I know it's going to blow the fuse. Right now this is at 1.3K. So I'll see if that's the deal. Now it's just been going on its own from open. Now it's up to 5,000 ohms. It was open for a while. There was 0 ohms on it. There. Now let's see if it's... Oh, now it's up to 50,000. Okay, well, the field coil is no good in there. That might be one of the reasons why it's blowing the fuse in this. This is a problem I'll have to solve. So both field coils are bad. I get variable resistances on this that go from very low to very high. I think why this radio worked for me for a while is the field coils weren't shorted enough to blow the fuse. But eventually, as they heated up, they probably cooked a little bit inside, and they eventually the low resistance is what probably killed it. I have no idea what DC resistance those coils should be. There's nothing at all in the service information at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stop this as a part 2 video on it, and I don't know if there will ever be a part 3. I'll have to figure out how I can replace those field coils with chokes. This one's center tapped, so I have to figure this out. If I don't know what the DC resistance is, I might have to just kind of guess. I really don't know. So here's where it's at now. I remounted the chassis. I have the right rubber mounts for it. I might need to get it leveled right, maybe a washer underneath the rubber, I don't know. It's really hard getting it in and getting the screws up from underneath. I only have the back ones in for now. But both speakers, the field coils, are going bad. They must have worked good enough when I first powered it, the first few times I powered it up, but then they finally started to short and fry to where it'll blow the fuse. Too much current is being drawn through it. So what can I do with it? Well, the best way to do it is to find the right kind of chokes. One of them has to be center tapped. The other one just a regular choke, but without knowing the DC resistance or the milliamps they need to be, I mean, I'd have to kind of guess. And then to put permanent magnet speakers in there. Now I can get it to work, I suppose, in time, but that would be a lot of time and a lot of work. So at this point I think I'm going to hang this project up for a while, maybe for the rest of my life, you never know.